and welcome to chapter 1. This week's chapter 1 is Elves, Evergreen, and Evidence. Chapter 1. Merrier than Christmas morning with a biscuit in your hand was how Dottie had described Happy Trails Campground's booth this year for the Winter Festival. And boy, was she right. I stood and took a moment to drink in the sights of the Winter Festival in full swing. Dottie's description had nailed the feeling. It was an event filled with joy, wonder, and the spirit of the season. I sucked in a deep breath and my stomach gurgled as the warm scent of freshly baked biscuits wafted over the normal diner from the wintry day's light breeze. Everywhere I looked, twinkling fairy lights adorned booths, trees, lampposts throughout the park, casting a soft glow on the proceedings. The delicate luminous made the light snowflakes descending from heavens shimmer like millions of diamonds against the night sky. The snow gathered in gentle drifts, painting the town in shades of silver and white. It added a touch of magic, muffling the festival sound slightly and making everything seem just a tad softer and a tad more otherworldly. At the far end of the park, the amphitheater was slowly filling up, its stone seats covered with blankets and eager spectators. They were all bundled up in colorful scarves and mittens, and their breath misting in the cool air, waiting in anticipation for the evening's performances. But the big show tonight was the annual tree lighting. The towering Christmas tree stood proudly in the center of the grassy median. It was unlit for now, but even in the gathering dust, it was a sight to behold. The majestic fir was adorned with red and gold baubles, silver tinsel, and what looked like hundreds of handcrafted ornaments, each reflecting the heritage and tradition of Normal, Kentucky, and the Daniel Boone National Forest. Near the tree, a platform had been erected for Santa. It was so darn cute to see all the kids lined up, eyes wide with a mix of nervousness and excitement, their tiny voices raised in awe or in a whispered conversation with their parents. Their laughter and innocent chatter were heartwarming, and my feeling while witnessing it all was one I'd love to bottle up and hold on to. I still couldn't believe what a year we'd had, and it was about to come to a close after Christmas with the New Year approaching. And it felt overwhelming sense of community when I looked around at the vendors, the local business owners with whom I've become very close friends. Here at this one celebration in the heart of the Daniel Boone National Forest, beneath a canopy of stars, and amid the ancient trees, we were all connected, and everyone smiling and having a good time truly brought the spirit of the season. "Are you standing there daydreaming again, Maybelle Lane?" Dottie Swaggart asked as she walked back over to the small table we had placed between the two camping chairs in order to get some of the brochures we had put together as sponsors of this year's Red Bird Winter Festival charity. The Redbirds were an arm of the Daniel Boone National Forest Advisory Committee, made up of a group of women from the forest surrounding counties who actually enjoy doing fundraiser and volunteer work. Cheryl Paisley, a knitter, was the first person to rent the camper van I lived in my campground while she found her footing in Kentucky. She and Tilly, her cat, had come to town ahead of a terrible tornado, and it was the first week I'd rented my very own camper to a tourist. And when Cheryl had asked how she could get involved in Normal, the Redbirds had come to mind immediately as an option until she could decide where in our bluegrass state she wanted to permanently land. She wanted to be part of our community and thought her stay might be brief. There was no better way to get involved than to join the Redbirds. It seemed Cheryl especially was helping raise funds for various causes. So when she heard we needed someone to volunteer for the Winter Festival fundraiser for our children's summer camps, she was all over it. "It's a short-term commitment," she said. "I'll rent your camper through the winter months, and then I'll explore Kentucky more to see where I want to make it home." Little did we realize Cheryl was staying and actually made her very own shop just across the way called the Stitch and Post. But either way, she was volunteering, which meant that she needed people to recruit. And that's where we came in, the Laundry Club ladies. And with the help of Cheryl's teaching skills, her knitting teaching skills, had spent many a night around a campfire inside my camper van and in the recreational center over the past couple of months, crafting little gnomes and elf-looking dolls in Christmas-themed yarn patterns. "I ain't never seen so many people love these little gnomes. Dottie picked up a handful of the small knitted creatures. Elves, I corrected her. I felt like she was right. Cheryl said they're elves. Whatever they are, they sure are ugly little things. Dottie's nose wrinkled as she looked down at the small pile of handcrafted creatures with exaggerated features. But folks seem to love them. I chuckled softly. Well, it is the spirit of the season, and maybe they see a bit of the festival magic in these elves, I said. Dottie rolled her eyes and dramatically but smiled, revealing the warmth she tried so hard to keep hidden under the tough exterior. Well, I reckon they make good stocking stuffers. I glanced over at the Redbird's booth where Cheryl was enthusiastically explaining to the couple the significance of the unique pattern. The hum of conversation, gentle melodies of carolers in the distance, the occasional ring of a bell from the nearby Salvation Army booth blended to create a harmonious soundtrack to the evening. The air was cool and crisp, but every so often a gust of wind would send a flurry of snowflakes dancing around us. And Dottie suddenly leaned closer to me, her tone very conspiratorial. You reckon Cheryl has any idea about the surprise the Redbirds are planning for her later tonight? I shook my head and grinned, tugging at my lips. Not a clue, and it's going to be such a heartwarming sight. I think she's going to love it. This here's what it's all about, ain't it? Community and giving back and just being together. Dottie nodded, her gaze sweeping over the festivities. Exactly. And these moments are what make everything worthwhile. I smiled, touched by her sentiment. From the corner of my eyes, I noticed movement near the back corner of the amphitheater where the behind-the-scenes staging was located. And there were two men engaging in what looked like to be a heated argument, their aggressive body language making that clear, even from the distance that I was standing. And one of the men tightly gripped the reins of a reindeer who seemed uneasy with the tension in the air, and I could see his other hand gripping a paper cup. Well, now, Dottie mused, her voice dripping with curiosity. She set down one of the elves she'd been examining. What's that all about? Without waiting for an answer, she pulled out her pleather cigarette case, swiftly lighting up one cigarette as she made her way towards the scene. With her cigarette in hand, she looked like a freight train barreling down the tracks, unstoppable, intent on getting to the heart of the matter. Dottie picked up speed, and after the situation between the two men suddenly escalated, the one holding the reindeer rein slowly bent down and put his drink on the ground next to his feet before he could use his free hand to shove the other guy with such force that he stumbled backwards, landing on the cold, snowy ground. Their voices were drowned out by the festive sounds around us, but their anger was palpable. The man with the reins had a face as stormy as winter night, and when he gave the man on the ground one last look, he picked up his drink. And as he walked past our booth, leading the clearing agitated reindeer, and took a sip, our eyes locked for a split second. His gaze was icy, and a shiver ran down my spine, unrelated to the cold weather. He crumpled up his cup, and he threw it in the trash that we had put beside our booth for the festival goers. You won't get away with this, the man still on the ground called out. But just as suddenly as the tension peaked, it was punctuated by a robust ho, 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 and the merry jingle of bells. Santa Claus is in all his glory appeared from around the amphitheater. The sight of him, his rosy cheeks and twinkling eyes, was such a contrast to the altercation I had just witnessed. The children nearby squealed in delight, their attention suddenly drawn to the big guy, Santa, effectively shifting the public's focus from the two quarreling men. I glanced at Dottie, who had stopped midway in the scene, puzzled expression on her face as she took a drag from her cigarette. She raised a brow, and I could tell we were both thinking the same thing. There was a story behind that argument, and it was one we were both eager to uncover. As we called it, a cover-up for what we really were going to do was gossip. But for now, Santa's arrival and the festivities were in full swing, so that would just have to wait. Chapter 1, Elves, Evergreen, and Evidence. Hey, y'all! I thought I would start off the night reading Chapter 1 from Elves, Evergreen, and Evidence. You guys, this has been such a fun book to write. I love the covers, and of course, with the new Cheryl Paisley in town, if you have not read Witness Woods and Weddings, you know, or if you have, you know that we have a new person in town. Her name is Cheryl Paisley, and she was actually the main character in it was a novella that was in the Wishing Tree series that I had written with 13 romance authors, and mine was The Only Cozy Mystery. And that's where she's introduced. And it's a small town in Vermont. But since I knew I wasn't going to write anymore in that small town in Vermont, I said, she's such a great character. We don't have a knitting shop in Normal, though they do have them here in Kentucky and in the Daniel Boone National Forest, that I thought, why not move her to Kentucky? So she comes to Kentucky in Witness Woods and Weddings, and she's also the first person to ever rent Mae West's camper van, now that Mae does not live in the camper van, now that she lives in the big fifth wheel with Hank. So in Elves, Evergreen, and Evidence, we get to see life and what that looks like, having room in a huge camper, as well as what that looks like to have all of her things and to have, I think sometimes though she does find a little solace by going back into her camper van when things get rough. So anyways, I am so excited about this book. Releases, I think, on the 26th of this month, right? The weekend after Thanksgiving. So on Sunday is when it releases. So after you get done eating your big old turkey, then you can do that. So also we are here though to read a reader question as well. So I'm like, what can I do? And then you also saw Rowena. You also saw that I put up my Christmas tree. It is not decorated. There's nothing underneath it. I don't even have a skirt on it yet. There is nothing. I just thought, I'm going to put up my Christmas tree. And I still have out my 2 fall trees. There's the fall tree right there. Boop, doop. So anyways, I'm like, I'm going to do it. Because last week when I was camping, I went to bed celebrating Halloween, and I woke up to Christmas lights galore. And so, it was beautiful. I'm going to put together, because we ended up going through it because we could, but I walked every day about 3 miles while they were putting it all together and on the path during this awesome James Island campground. And so I would see the workers. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And they were like, well, we'll light it up for you. So they would light it up for me and I would take a photo of it. And so I took all those pictures, and then we did a drive-through, and I have that as well. And so that was really, really fun. So I'll put that together in one video. That's a quick video so you can see it, but it was beautiful. And so I'm not kidding you. I went to bed Halloween, the 31st, woke up on November 1st at the campground, and it was transformed into a winter wonderland. Christmas festival lights is what it was called. So it doesn't open up for the public until the 10th, but if you're staying in the campground, it was on all night long, and it's beautiful. And they also had, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do this. It was so much inspiration for next year's camper Christmas book. And I thought, oh my gosh, we could totally do this in the campground. And it was a blast, and I loved it. And I loved talking to the workers and all the work that they put into it. And it was, it's beautiful. So not only did they have the lights that you drive through, but it's also on the paths. And they had a beautiful, I don't know if I have it on my pad here or not. I don't know if my pictures downloaded properly, which they probably did not. So here's so I can show you this because this one's on here. But see, they have a this is the carousel, and then they have let's see, this is like a booth, a ticket booth. They had all those at the beginning of the campground, and that was a ticket booth for the ride. And then another one of their, so then they had like this thing called Holiday Lights, this this thing that was on the campground, and that was where they had ice skating, Dippin' Dots, Cupid's Cocoa, Comet's Kettle Corn, Frosty's Fixin', Santa's Sweet Shop, the climbing wall, photos with Santa, the giant greeting cards, which were really cool. If you saw my newsletter today, you saw photos of that giant reading cards, which I was like, oh my gosh, greeting cards. I was like, what was that? And all the local schools made greeting cards, and they were huge, big pieces of wood, and they were beautiful. So I did put those in the newsletter as well. If not, tomorrow you can jump over to the blog and look at that. So that was really cool, and it was so much fun. So I was driving I wasn't driving. I was sleeping. Obviously, you saw the picture of me sleeping a week ago that Eddie took that I had to put on Facebook. I don't care what I look like. And so I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So I ended up putting it on Facebook. So you saw me sleeping. I'm like, I'm exhausted, y'all. So anyways, I put it on Facebook, and I got so many emails saying, oh my God, Tanya, you cracked me up because you're so real. I am real. Ow, it's not fake. Anyway, so I put that up there, and we just had a really, really good time. So Eddie was driving home, and Mama was in the car, and I said, I'm gonna put up my Christmas tree when I get home. And I put up like 5 or 6 or something like that. So I did. I put it up. There are no decorations on it, and I love it. It looks pretty. We'll show it to you. Ignore Eddie. He's on the couch. See, there it is. There's Christmas and Thanksgiving tree. And then I have another tree downstairs that you guys have seen before, but I don't know when I'll decorate it. I really need to put something around the bottom of it because it looks a little junky. I don't know. Rowena hasn't touched it. And as you saw, she came walking on through, but I'm doing another, Turkey's Trappings and Thanksgiving is picked for Women's World Online Book Club this month. And also it's going to be in their magazine at some point this month. So I'm going to be doing another fun giveaway. So I have been stitching. These are like little acorns and leaves. And then I've been stitching it. I'm getting better, and I didn't draw it. So that's that. And then I'm going to take it and cut it. And then I'm going to stitch it on the inside of this book and do it for a giveaway. So be sure you are looking for that. I think that'll be a lot of fun to do within the next few days. So be on the lookout for that giveaway. I've got so many cool things that I've been getting in the mail to do as giveaways. I love it. But anyways, we are here. Not only did you hear the first chapter of Elle's Evergreen and Evidence. If you didn't, you can rewatch this when the live is over. But I am here to also answer a reader question. And today's reader question, I see we have some comments. I will answer your comments in a second. But today's question is from Sandy. How do you keep all your characters straight? I've read every series and love them all. Also, when will more Honey Springs books be in audio? Well, Sandy, great question. I don't know if I have one in front of me, but I don't. Usually I have one hanging out underneath my table, has a shelf under it. But anyways, so how do I keep all of my characters straight? So every book has a different series Bible that I keep, and my Bible is really a handwritten old-time address book. And so I keep all my characters straight by address. So say if the character was Tanya Kappas, I go to the T and I flip it open because I go by the first name, and it says Tanya Kappas, job, age, hair color, different things about Tanya in the book, eye color, and maybe the books that she's been in. Not all the characters are in all the books. And then also any of the shops, I keep those listed at the front of the where it says like you can put your passwords. Like I will put that as the shop lists and different things like that. Also with each book, I do its own book Bible. So each book, it's a book Bible, which has different things. Maybe I can show you one. Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can find a quick one here. I can't guarantee. Maybe I can find elves. Let's see what it looks like. Make sure it's a good book Bible. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba. Oh. Elves, is that a book Bible? No, that's chapter 1. Oh, there it is. It says book Bible. Okay. Okay. So I've got to share my screen. So I'm going to share screen, I believe. Let's see how I do this. See, I have to figure this out every time because I don't know. I thought I could share screen. New layout. Present. It's called present now. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay, so let's share. Then we're going to go low. And then I think you can kind of see up here. And it says Elves Book Bible. We'll make it big. So I have like here's the actual cover. Then I always have the blurb and also all of the links that I would like for people to have and any hashtags I like to use. So I also give this to my ARC team. They enjoy it a lot. That's easy for them, so they can grab what they need from here. That also have a recipe called the Winterland Mocha, which is specifically for my Patreons, and they get all the recipes with a commissioned artwork. So this that you're getting to see exclusive, since I don't believe you're a Patreon, but this is a picture that I paid someone to create for me. I provided them the recipe and they came up with the photo. And my Patreon get all of these exclusive. This is exclusive content for my Patreon. Even though the recipe will go in the back of the book, they get this stuff early. So I always have that kind of stuff in there. I also have deleted scenes that my Patreon also gets as well. That they are interested in. And then I have a list of motives, a list of suspects, things like that. At my editor's notes, more deleted scenes. I have more reasons for people to kill. And that is just this particular book. Other books, I have a different detailed. Let's see. I'll try to find another one. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Let me look here. I'll try to see. What did we just do? Thanksgiving treachery. Oh, so another thing that they also get in the book Bible are these. So these are graphics that I make up that is in the book Bible. So when you're on Facebook or like right now, I just read Elle's Evergreen and Evidence. So this will go up on Facebook at some point and point back to this chat. Or I might clip it out and give that to them. Let's see what else. So we'll go back to that. Then like it's all the different graphics like pre-order. So all the things that you're seeing now go in the book Bible. So all of those things those things are what I like to do. I'm going to stop sharing there. And I like to keep all those things organized. Also, I put in reviews and when I go to write the next book. So as a matter of fact, you asked about the Honey Springs. So when I write the next book, which it's already written, and I already have a cover, which will be out hopefully in January, February, then it's not on pre-order yet, but it's super, super cute. But it is, I will pull the last book, which was Macchiato Murder. I'll pull the last book Bible, and I will pull out my series Bible, which is the address book. And I can pick up right where I left off. I know exactly what was happening in the last book. I know exactly how it ended. And so that's how I keep my series together. I usually try to write a camper book every other month and then a different book every other month from the other series, and that keeps it fresh. But if I do have to go back, like while I was reading this Elves Evergreen and Evidence a while ago, and I'm thinking, oh, who's the killer? And I was thinking, who died? Because it's been so long since I wrote it that I was like, ah. And the next book of the Kemper series is already written. So I have to always go back and read those. So thank you. So she also asked about the audiobooks. Currently, we are, let's see, I can look. That's another thing that my Patreons get, the early books of all of the audio books. They get them chapter by chapter. So currently she is doing Barista Bump Off, my narrator. And it's so she's going to go through the line because we kind of waited to put the Killer Coffee series in audio. And so she's currently producing that now. So hopefully within the next month you'll get that, definitely before the end of the year, but hopefully within the next month. So thank you so much for your question. That was a great question. Let's see the comments. Hello Barbara, hello Anita, hey Tammy, hi Jane Dietz, hello Kathy from let's see, not New Zealand, Cindy, I mean, are you in New Zealand? Are you in New Zealand? I can't remember. Hello, Jason. Hey, how are you, Mirandia? Hey, Kim. Hey, Linda. It has been a while. I hope you're well. We're here every week. Come on, set the timer. Set a spell. Hello, Debbie Dunn. Hi, Leslie Lawrence. Hello, Denise. I know you saw Rowena. I don't know where she currently is. She was just in a bag next to me. And let's see. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Hey, Barbara. Thank you for your reading. You're welcome. Everybody is saying hello to Miss Rowena. Just tuning in. Will there be more Magical Bakery books? Yes, just not currently right. I can't tell you when now. Sounds good. Awesome. Love the cover. Your descriptions have been fantastic. Thank you, Denise. Love the cover. Great cover. I have a question. I could send you my new address. I paid my invoice and then saw my old address. I need to get you my new address. What invoice? Looks like fun at the campground. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I guess you were sent an invoice for your book signing books. You just need to email me at authortanyakapis@gmail.com. That's it. That's the best way to do it. And if you don't see it here, you can get on tanyakapis.com and message me on my contact, and that will take you right to my email. Looks like a fun character. It was great campground. I mean, no joke. Tammy said she loved it. Hey, Mary. Cool giveaway. Yeah, isn't that gonna be fun? You make me want to decorate for Christmas too. I know. Like, I kind of want to jump off here and take down the Thanksgiving tree and just put up all Christmas and get out all the stuff and put all the ornaments on my tree because it's a little barren. Like, if you go down and look at the picture on Facebook that I posted, it doesn't have any decorations. It doesn't have a tree skirt. And Mama would die. It is undressed and it's a mess. She'd be like, it is undressed. You cannot be showing people an undressed Christmas tree. But I did. Great question. It was a pretty good question, wasn't it? I finally made a live. It's been so long. I'm glad to see you, Leslie. Yes, thank you. I wish I could get myself organized. I know. Me too. Me too. Yes, from New Zealand. Okay, I love that. Hello, Janelle. How are you for the books? That's what Eddie said. Love all the camping tips and recipes. Thank you. I'm so glad. You are welcome, Jane. Anyways, you guys, if y'all are out of questions today, scroll back if you did not get to hear the first chapter of elves, evergreens, and evidence. And you can hear that. It is so much fun. It sets the scene. And I'm really hoping that you're loving Thanksgiving Treachery. The next book in that is Santa Claus Surprise, which is so much fun. But anyways, you guys, I love you all. I hope you have a great night. And send me questions. If you have a question that you want me to answer on live at 6 o'clock every Tuesday, there is a pinned post on Facebook, and there's one in the community part on YouTube where you can ask me anything and I will pick your question. Until then, I hope you guys have a great night and I love you all.